All right, that's one of the intros we've got. Good to go.
Great.
There is something to advertise in the side, by the way. We'll be talking about this a little bit more later on, but Yord has changed their promo deal from 5% off to $20 off, as you guys can see here on the overlay. I have to actually tone that down. It's a bit bright. But they're having a Father's Day sale. So if you guys have ever been considering these wonderful-looking watches, there we go, you can now get $20 off, which is considerably more than 5%. Unless you're going for, like, the big watches. Then I don't actually know if it's more, because math is hard. But the point is, it's a lot of money off, guys. So go and get your Yord watches. By the way, the tournament that we're going to be hosting, the unannounced one I had mentioned before, is going to be sponsored by Yord, and any money we raise during the event through Yord is going to go to increasing the prize pool. More on that when we get to it. We're focusing on the Corsair Cup here today, and an incredibly long load screen.
Yep, thinking that one of these guys is going to disconnect.
Yeah, hopefully not the case. Maybe just a bit sluggish. But the other thing to talk about, speaking of Corsair, guys, we did a great job getting the sponsorship, and you all helped us do that by being awesome. Some of you bought gear, some of you checked out the links. But since we've got our sponsorship, our numbers have gone down. Corsair ain't happy. So my request to you would be, don't click this for the sake of clicking it. That's not going to do anyone any good. But if you are curious about Corsair Gear, because we're going to be giving some of it out in the future, we're going to be hopefully selling some of it to you guys with codes at some point or some other. Scroll down on the Twitch page, click those links, take a look at the gear available of what we have to combination giveaway / sell you guys, because it's pretty good, pretty quality stuff. We actually got to play around with their brand new rapid fire keyboard as well at DreamHack. So lots of cool things coming from Corsair. But at any rate, welcome back to BaseTradeTV. It's been a while since we've rode this pony, ridden this bicycle, however the phrasing may be, but phrasing aside, in the top left, kicking off our first cast back, it's gonna be the blue Protoss, Goblin.
See, that wasn't the worst intro you've ever done. That's fine.
Shut the front door. DreamHack
In the
was
bottom
fine.
right, as the purple Terran, he's TopChef.
I remember talking to Bly at the after party, and I said, "Bro, have you seen?" Oh, okay. I'll tell the story really quick. And get it out of the way. I was like, "Bro, have you seen? Did you see the VODs?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Please never watch us casting your games, or at least skip game one. I'll forget." He's like, "Why? What happened?" I'm like, "Just don't watch it, man. Just don't watch it." But a bit of proxy coming out of Goblin, not so unexpected. This was the guy I was gonna almost put in the intro, but last time we saw him was during the Ting qualifiers. He almost got through the double elimination bracket, ended up forfeiting because of how late it ran, but he was doing things like, 5 to 10 oracles and other weird cheese.
Oh, yeah.
So to see a proxy gateway is not super alarming, but certainly scary if TopChef weren't to scout right now. I really like the SCV scout going out on the map.
It's just so odd that it is so early, and that's gonna really, I think, throw off TopChef's scouting too, because it became before the Cybernetics core, so it pushed it off like maybe a little bit. But that SCV should have enough, it's not gonna be hit by anything soon. Like, there's not gonna stop coming out. There's not gonna be a mothership core that can really chase it. It should scout the lack of a nexus and know something is up. If it just goes home, I'm not sure that TopChef actually knows something's up.
Right, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. This pro, by the way, almost killing the SCV. I know it was desperate to get in there. Just waiting for some shields to regenerate maybe before going back in. But the fact that TopChef has chosen to go for this command center is going to hurt him. Let's be honest. He's not going to have a lot of units to defend with. He's going for a factory. I like the reactored marine production, and I really like the bunker coming on the low ground. But I got a feeling that timing is going to favor Goblin in this instance, especially if he gets pylons down to overcharge.
Yeah, alright, so he does scout that proxy gateway, and in fact there's a little bit of a supply block from Goblin too. It doesn't seem like the cleanest build in the world. That's actually very odd. That's actually pretty bad, but I guess the pylons are supposed to go a little bit sooner, maybe?
He really should have focused that SCV. If the bunker going up was going to help stop this, 4 Marines inside of it can take down 2 pylons, which is what normally comes, but by not focusing the SCV, throwing down the extra 2 pylons in the back, Goblin's got enough to overcharge. And that's the only desire to have here. It's not about anything else other than popping off these 2 overcharges right here, right now.
Yeah. So, okay, so he pops one on the healthiest pylon, and it makes a lot of sense. And that bunker is going to go down. But that was 400 minerals, 200 of which were not too useful. And there's only so many overcharges that this mothership core will have. So another one's about to be popped in a second here, probably when she feels threatened, because there's no reason to right now. And the supply depots are still definitely going to go down. But, I mean, TopChef, I think a bunker on the top might have been useful here, and actually might have been a better answer. than the one on the bottom. I think with 4 pylons and a proxy gateway, you know they dedicated a lot. So just give up your natural, basically, and try and focus on actually defending your main base.
I like this attempt to go for a Cyclone. We've seen the power of a Cyclone in many situations. I just don't know that it's going to work here, mostly because it is one Cyclone versus a massive amount of Adepts.
Yeah, I mean, I think the lock-on was preferably going to go on the mothership, but, oh well, it went on that pylon, I got it canceled. The mothership is out of energy now, but only for like another 10 seconds. That's still a very crucial photon overcharge to have to ensure that the natural is not going to go back down.
I really like that he pulled the mothership core back as well. He didn't want this to happen. By giving the high ground vision to possibly shoot the Cyclone with the overcharge, it would have risked the mothership core dying. Whether it's setting the Adepts up or what, he does, of course, need vision to hit anything up here.
Yeah, I think he figured that an Oracle follow-up would come, and that certainly was possible. I mean, they've already done something pretty cheesy. They could, still stay off of a Nexus and go for a Stargate, but in this case, Goblin's going to go for Resident Englave upgrade, and is actually getting a Nexus, but just, obviously very late. So, unfortunately, that is a bit of a waste of minerals. This could have been those extra 2 barracks a lot quicker.
The Cyclones could potentially clutch this with the SCVs getting this around. A lot of these Adepts are getting cleaned up. Very important that Goblin has that Nexus coming down. If he didn't, there'd be no chance to really play behind this, because, let's be honest, this was not a successful attack. Those Adepts trade out for Marines, they need to kill SCVs.
Well, the production of Top Chef is still not very good. It really is all about these 2 Cyclones. But Cyclones, they can live a very, very long time depending on how you micro them. But certainly not going to be able to get down to the natural anytime soon, as long as that Mothership Core is renewing energy and actually able to pop any photon overcharges. Cyclones, they don't last very long.
They're burning a lot of their lock-ons to try and take out the pylons, which isn't a terrible choice because there's not enough Adepts to push up that ramp. But of course, if 2 of these could just lock on that mothership core, it shuts down all the pylons altogether.
I bet it was about to happen, to be honest.
Yeah, right there. It looked like that would have been the perfect opportunity. But the scary thing is the Adepts, well, they don't do a lot of damage. Cyclones don't have a lot of health, so if they get on top of them, this is why Top Chef had to run back. This was a very scary situation. But while this goes on, Goblin back at home is saturating that natural base. He's kind of got tech slowly on the way, I say, through more gateways. But I meant to say production, not tech. But either way, like he's got more than enough, I feel, to win this game. And when the best of 1 scenario for Top Chef, this is getting dire.
Yeah. It looks like finally, with the destruction of the second to last pylon, I thought Top Chef might be able to break down to his natural again, but the Adept still giving him trouble, not killing a lot of SCVs, actually killed a Cyclone already, and that's definitely enough damage to win the game now. Even without it, I think Goblin was in a perfectly fine position. These Adepts, they have Resident Englaves, so they still only 3-shot the Marines, but they're doing so very quickly, and of course they're tearing down the SCVs very quickly as well, and just the production at this point is really conquering Top Chef.
Of course, the Cyclones, oh, so badly need to be repaired. Not going to happen. That's going to be it. 1 SCV remains. Say it for him. GG. Right. Game number 1, and the only game in the series, is going to go to Goblin. He'll move on to fight against Mana next, and I'm really intrigued to see how this one will work, because this would be a little bit cheesy, I guess you could say.
I believe so. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Mana also cheesed him.
Mana has actually been pretty good with his own cheese, to be completely honest. So yeah, that's not a terrible point. We will see what comes up next. We're gonna hit up our first ad break, though. We can celebrate our first ad break since we got back.
Oh my god!
So don't go anywhere, guys, as we'll be back here in a couple of minutes.